Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be sharing my experience living abroad and coming back home. So as I shared before, I am from Tanzania, the land of Kilimanjaro. That's right. And I have spent quite a bit of time traveling outside my country. And the most prominent experience has to be when I went abroad to study, because I, relocated and had to readjust to a new place. And it was really just mainly for exposure, learning, getting education, but also getting to see the world, meeting new people. So a lot of people back home have interesting stereotypes of what life is like abroad. And that happens with everywhere. When you're from a particular country, you are always curious about, what's out there, stuff like that. So I find that there are interesting stereotypes we as Africans have of what life is like abroad. So I'm just gonna shed some light on that today, so hope you enjoy. One of the major stereotypes I find of living abroad is that life is all glitter and I don't know, this imaginary high life, the American dream, the American dream, which some people do live, but it's not everyone. So I think for me, that's the first thing that was kind of just very sobering up. What I had expected or what imagined was very different from the actual experience on the ground. I think that the stereotypes do come from some of the things that we watch or things that we are told. But you find a lot of, let me say, people who can go out and they imagine a particular life and that's not what they actually get there. So sometimes I feel that home is best. So another stereotype about living abroad is that life is simple. That's where you can make it. You can make it wherever you are, honestly. I've learned that. You can make it anywhere. It's the life you make. You can make it here, you can make it abroad. It's entirely up to you. So those are a few of the stereotypes. People have this idea that I have to go out to make it, and it's not necessarily true. I don't believe it. I think you can build your own castle. So why did I decide to come back home? Good question. It wasn't an easy and straightforward decision, because being abroad and having lived there for some time, you acclimatize, you adapt to the environment, you create a new family there, you create your own life there. So it kind of gets comfortable and familiar. So I remember when it came to making that decision, I was like, okay, I'm sure about going back home, because I think for me, it came from the place of just having a vision of what I wanted to do back home. And I felt that what I had was really going to benefit the people at home. One of the things I can say is that the transition between living abroad and coming back to your home country, it's a tricky one. It's something that people don't even think about, because you've been away. And what I find is that a lot of times when you're coming back home, you have these expectations. You have a way of thinking that you have adopted from the different places you visited, and you bring that with you. Now the challenge becomes when you bring your way of thinking and you are kind of stuck in that particular way of thinking, and you meet an environment that's just not like what you've been exposed to. That's worlds apart, and that was my experience. And a lot of people's experience, actually. So sometimes people in the diaspora feel a bit nervous about moving back home, but I can tell you, for me, it was one of the best decisions I made. And what I can say is this: when you're making that transition, you really have to be willing to let go. That's the first thing. One of the biggest challenges about coming back home is that your mind is still there. It's still abroad. You're living here, but you're living there. You're living in two different time zones. You're still programmed to over there. So number one, you have to let go. I got that advice from one of my mentors, and it helped me. Because as much as I said I made the decision to come back home, the reality when I actually moved back home, oh man, it was hard. Let me just be real, it was hard. I remember at some point even going through depression because I'm like, my friends were all out of the country. There were a lot of things that had changed. You sound different, you look different, you can't really fit in. Everything has moved on as well. Remember, when you're gone, people move on. So you're coming back and it's like, where do I fit in? What the heck am I doing? Like, why is everything so slow? And the temptation is really to complain. So for a little while there, I just, man, it hit a very hard place. But I came out of it because I learned this. Being lonely or struggling to adjust isn't really about the absence of people or what you're used to. It's really about the absence of purpose. When you find purpose where you are, man, you thrive. You find a way to thrive. So what helped me was, one, I let go. I had to let go of where I was coming from and what I had spent the last many years knowing. I had to let go of that way of looking at things and put on a new cultural lens. Learn to see things from people around you now in your home country or wherever it is that you're returning to. Put on that cultural lens and begin to see things from how they see things. So you can come back and you have all these expectations. Calm down. Take it one day at a time. Learn the ecosystem. Learn the ecosystem. Honestly, if you want to succeed here, you have to learn how people do things here. So how do you make the transition back home? First of all, you need to let go. You really need to let go. Let go of where you're coming from and learn to embrace the new place. What I found is that I was still holding on to some of the things and some of the way of living, the way of thinking of where I was coming from. So that was a struggle. And that could have made me miss out on relationships and other exciting things that I learned coming back home because I was still holding on to something over there. No, let go of that. You're no longer there. You're not there anymore. Let it go. Move on to the new place that you're at. Bring your mind here, home, and everything about who you are oriented to where you are right now. And if that's your journey right now, this is really what I would advise you. It really helped me. The minute I let go, I was able to embrace new friendships, new experiences, things that initially would have irritated me, stopped irritating me, because it's not so much accepting, some of the negative. No, you don't have to accept some of the negative things that you see back home. It's good that you have perspective that you've been out, but what I'm saying is, don't come with that mindset of, I'm still there, but I'm here. Just be here. If you're gonna be here and be present. Secondly, I would say what helped me is don't have such high expectations. What happens sometimes is when we go out, we get exposure, we get perspective. That's wonderful, that's a plus. We need that back home. You need to bring that with you, because you still need to be able to call things out that are not right. You still need to be able to bring a different perspective. That's what people are looking for. That's what employers are looking for. But I will give you a word of caution. As you're coming back home, have your expectations within perspective, okay? You're coming to a different country from where you were. Things are different here. So learn the ecosystem. Don't just come with expectations. A mistake that I've seen a lot of people make, they come with this mentality, this savior mentality of, oh, I'm gonna save Africa, I'm gonna do this project, I'm gonna do that project. I'm telling you, that was me. So you come with all these projects and ideas and they're wonderful, but you know what? You need to understand first the people that you're dealing with. You need to understand the culture. Things have changed since you've been away. So before you bring your very good projects, first make it your mission to just acclimatize, learn the people, understand who they are, what their problems are. Because a lot of times we bring people packages of solutions that are not tailor-made for them. They're just good ideas, but we don't really understand what their problems are. So just come back home and begin to understand the problems. Then you'll be useful, then you'll be helpful. You'll begin to make solutions that they actually need, not solutions that you think they need. Lastly, I would say enjoy being back home. Like, honestly, you've been away for some time, and some of the things that you couldn't have over there, now you can have them. And that's the beauty of home. So indulge. Have that fun, those experiences. Go to the beach. I don't know what you have in your home country, but go out and do something fun. You know, sometimes because it's home, we can have that attitude of like, oh, you know, it's what I'm used to. But enjoy it. Enjoy home. Embrace home. That's what I learned. Embrace home with the imperfections, with the things that you'd like to be better, with the things that are just so annoying that we really need to change. Enjoy what you have at home. Embrace it. That's all I can say for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been an awesome time as usual. If you really enjoyed this content, you know what? Hit the subscribe button and watch all the other wonderful videos that are out there. I'm so glad that you were able to tune in with me, the Bahati Joyce. Until next time.